Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is a paid request for Thompson. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Links are down in the info box. I'll get to as soon as I can. It will be for review, re-review, random topic, tier list, ranking, reaction, whatever the case may be. I'll get to as soon as I can. But Jack Thompson wanted me to talk about a Simpsons episode, Season 9, Episode 1, called The City of New York versus Homer Simpson. Now, I do remember seeing this episode. I'm trying to remember if I saw it when it aired. I can't remember if I saw it when it aired. It might have been in reruns that I saw this. But I do remember, and as I rewatch it, it was still correct, enjoying this episode. I remember it being fun, moments that still made me laugh to this day, some nice references, a clever musical number, a nice voice performance by Dan Castellaneta as Homer Simpson. Went by a quick pace in its 20-minute runtime. And yeah, it's still a fun episode. The setup is Barney has become the designated driver for today at Moe's bar. Of course, it's the worst luck because at the same night, Duff Man, which I think is his first appearance, the kind of mascot sponsor for Duff Beer, comes in and says, hey, some guy sent in a bunch of stuff to see me and for me to come to them and have this large case of beer for him to drink. But Barney can't, so the other people drink it. He comes with the "Ooh Yeah" song that you hear in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Ooh yeah. I know this would not be the last time you would see Duff Man in there. Barney can't party, so it freaks him out. One leads to another. Homer's drunk, so Barney takes him home, but then Barney takes the car, and apparently he had it for 2 months. And one thing leads to another. They get a letter as Homer's trying to make this car out of mattresses. And you find out that the car is in New York. Now it's crazy. It shows like, season 9, and they were still like, should we really go to New York? Because, they've been on for so long. They've been everywhere. They've been like every other city. They've been in space. Homer's been in space. They've been everywhere. So it's weird that even in season 9, it's like, wow, going to New York was such a new thing. Like, big deal. Because this is like the premiere episode is them going to New York. And I like the motif of you see Homer's flashback of why he hates New York, and it's done with the music from the movie The Sting. Do 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 do, and just showing how much crime there is, where his camera's stolen, a cop steals his suitcase, and that he fell, and then Homer says he was chased by the Chuds, and then Marge is like, well, of course New York is bad if you only all focus on the pimps and the Chuds. So yeah, I never thought Chud, the movie, would be referenced, but that's kind of funny. Kind of a little known cult horror film like Chud, which takes place in New York with Daniel Stern, John Hurt, that would be referenced, but still kind of cool. I still wonder like who came up with that reference, because again, Chud is not the most well-known movie, but I like Chud. I like that movie quite a bit, actually. I know this episode is kind of... There's a little bit of talk for a bit because there's a scene where they have Bart or Lisa, one of them has a magazine for New York. And on New York, on the magazine, there's like the number 11. Actually, no, it's the Twin Towers. The way they look like 11. Well, when Bart puts up this thing, oh, it's a $9 fare. The bus ticket's going to be $9. So he puts it up so it looks like it says 911. And in the way Bart puts it up, the $9, and then right next to the Twin Towers is like 911. So people go, well, that's really creepy. And it is. Like, you watch it, oh, that is kind of creepy. I mean, just a weird, like, the one time they go to, like, the first time they go to New York. But I think it's one of those scenes also that if it wasn't that, it could have been something else that someone saw. And anything that has a 9 and a 1. Well, okay, if someone called 911, or someone yells, call 911, they said 911, 911. Yeah, it would have been something like that. Or something else that people could have picked up and go, oh, well, they saw the future. But on the other end, I do get where it's like, okay, that's... The fact that it was with the Twin Towers there makes it even more bit creepy and weird. Just sometimes just one of those things that just is what it is. So it is a bit eerie when you watch it nowadays. I know after 9/11 they took this episode off, but thankfully they put it back because the Twin Towers should be remembered. Don't throw away history to make it seem like it never existed. I think that's more offensive to the memory of not just the towers, but more importantly, the people who lost their lives there. Don't make it seem like I never existed. Because that would be the biggest insult of all, to go, I didn't exist. That or that one fuckwit from years ago, I mentioned this, a tangent. There was a fuckwit from long ago on YouTube. And if like John the Zero Cool and a few others are watching, you'll remember this. Where there was this guy who was a director, and apparently the news got out that he was trying to make a 9/11 movie with zombies. Shit you not. I did a video, I think this was on my old channel, saying that was the dumbest idea ever. Dumbest idea ever. And the guy got pissed, I'm gonna do this. He didn't do shit. His movie never got made. Just even Hollywood, independent, otherwise, they knew that was a dumb idea. And then that guy disappeared in the ether where he belongs, so. But anyway. So maybe that would be like the worst thing. But forgetting about it, ignoring it, that'd be a terrible thing. So I'm glad they don't hide episodes like this, is what I'm saying. But the jokes I liked that Bart looks at these Hasidic Jews and thinks they're ZZ Top. I do like the inclusion of the World Trade Center and the cars parked right in the middle of them. So like there's a bit where Homer tries to go to the bathroom, it's lost, so he's got to go all the way down, then go all the way up. And just the exhaling of satisfaction when he's finally able to release. One joke I forgot about, but I do remember laughing my ass off when I first saw this, and I still did today, is there's a boot on the car, and he tries to bite it off with his teeth. And number one, the sound effect just makes my teeth hurt. Just listen to it. But it's like, come on, you motherfucker. So he says, you motherfucker, but they get away with it because it's muffled. Come on, you motherfucker. So you can clearly hear what he's saying. At least I can, but because it's muffled, they can get away with it with the ratings, with the censors. So that did laugh my ass off. They take a shot at Mountain Dew, which I thought was kind of funny, where someone's like, you want Mountain Dew or crab juice? And Homer's like, ew, oh my god, I'll take the crab juice. And I laugh at that because I do like Mountain Dew Code Red. And I do like, I could drink Mountain Dew, the orange one, but regular Mountain Dew, I used to drink that as a kid, but ever since this is better, baby. This is much better. This is like Mountain Dew tasted good and was a lot smoother and didn't taste like battery acid. Because if I drink Mountain Dew nowadays, it does taste like I'm drinking acid. So I kind of agree with Homer on that, although I wouldn't want the crab juice either. I'd be like, I'll just take some water. Although in New York, this would probably cost $15. I do like the animation when he's had enough and he's driving with the boot on and you see how it's just messing up the whole car and just bouncing him back up and down. The references, I do like Bart. Just, I'm trying to remember what year this was. I was obviously before 9/11. So, 9 years. Wasn't. I'm trying to remember when Simpsons came on. Was it 89? 88, 89? God, I can't remember, man. Just I could have looked it up, could have written down the year, but at least like before like 2000, 1999, 1998, like that era. And it's they reference bad magazines is what I'm getting at because nowadays I think a lot of people, especially younger, they would not know what the hell Mad Magazine was, and they might if they somehow like watch reruns. Like I guess now that Disney owns this, it'd be on Disney Plus or whatever. They might see this and go, "What the hell is Mad Magazine?" Like Mad Magazine. I wish I had a bunch of those. I used to have a couple of them back in the day. I have none of them now. I'm kind of sad that I don't because I wish I could have like a big stack of Mad Magazine just flip through them because well, I know they did one for like Die Hard with a Vengeance and I do remember liking like the Spy versus Spy, like all the little like, ways they make fun of stuff and like Die Hard with a Vengeance. I know the thing they made fun of is like this is like that scene in the Speed. This is like that scene in Cliffhanger. This is like that scene in Bubba. And like all the other actors are coming out to try to yell at like Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson, something like that. It'd be nice to look at that and some of the other just as nostalgia. I know there's another one called Cracked, which I do remember that as well. Which I don't even know. I guess magazines aren't really as much big as they were back then. Like I don't even know what's happened to Mad Magazine. But it was cool. Like Bart goes to the office. He thinks there's nothing there, but then finds out that oh well, there's Alfred E. Newman and there's the Spy versus Spy and all sorts of stuff back then. From 1952 to 2018, Mad published 550 magazine issues as well as scores of reprint specials. After AT&T acquired Time Warner in June 2018, Mad ended newsstand distribution, continuing in comic book stores and via subscription. Bi-monthly. So I guess they're still around, but you have to be subscribed to them. I did not even know they were still around. I have to look into to see if any of that stuff is around nowadays. But they're older stuff. I'm sure eBay or something. But anyway, it was nice to see that again because it just brought back a lot of nostalgic memories. They have a bit where Marge, Lisa, and Bart, while Homer's dealing with his whole thing, they're off seeing the city. They're having a great time. They go to this Betty Ford musical, which is a take on Robert. They don't say is Robert Downey Jr., but it's a take on Robert Downey Jr. and what he was going through, where he was in all these problems with drugs and doing all this crazy stuff. So a guy that looks very much like Robert Downey Jr. is going to the Betty Ford clinic with the song, I'm checking in, no more pills or alcohol, no more pot or Demerol. See, it wasn't just South Park that did some pretty good, fun musical numbers. Simpsons did it as well. Another joke I like is Homer. Like he's adamant getting his boot off, so he gets his jackhammer and just, even though it clearly tears apart his car, breaks his windows, completely destroys it, he still feels satisfied that he's able to get the boot off. And when he gets to his family, whose family's having fun in this horse and buggy, Homer's just pissed off, wants no more of New York, and they do this kind of Ben-Hur, going back and forth until he finally gets his family, and you get this nice wide shot of the bridge as the family is happy, but they're sad to leave, but Homer's just pissed off, and there's a garbage truck right in front of him, hitting him in the face, the garbage. Because Lisa's like, can we come back for vacation one day, Dad? We'll see, Lisa. We'll see. And then to the tune of New York, New York. Now, of course, they can only do so much in 20 minutes. Like, they do what they can. Like, there's a little bit where Bart, Lisa, and Marge are at the Statue of Liberty. Then they see a Broadway musical. Then they have a nice nod to Mad Magazine. You have the Twin Towers, which is nice to have in there. So like I said, in 20 minutes they can only do so much. But yeah, I thought this was a very fun episode. Brought back a lot of nostalgic memories. Like I said, The Simpsons is one of those shows that I remember the first one I saw was the Christmas special. I started with these little shorts on Tracy Ullman's show, but then the full-fledged show, it was the Christmas special. I remember having the VHS tape of that, where Homer Simpson sounded more like Walter Matthau. And it was trying to be much more of grounded, where we want to be a sitcom like All in the Family and nothing too zany. Because you watch the first episode, it's pretty, I don't want to say realistic, but it's not as big, grandiose as time would go on. And I grew up with that show. My aunt would send us tapes that had many of those episodes, and then I have a lot of the Simpsons DVDs over there from season 1 to season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I do want to say like up to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I don't know, I'm only counting 16. I might have the others somewhere else. I can't remember how many seasons they did. Because they stopped doing DVD. Then they came back, but then they only released like 2 more seasons on DVD, and then they were done. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to keep buying, just going to keep stopping, and then... And they're still going. And that kind of dumbfounds me, because obviously they're successful enough, because you're paying these actors huge salaries, and how much just the production and getting guest stars and music, and seems like the sky's the limit on budget, but I never hear anyone say, man, I'm watching the new Simpsons. Like, you never hear of them, is what I'm talking about. When was the last time you heard the Simpsons? Like, I'm not talking about, you're talking about the old Simpsons. Oh, season 5, season 6, remember? I'm talking about, like, new Simpsons. When do you ever hear people talk about them? The one time I heard was when, like, they did an episode where they were making fun of Donald Trump. Big surprise. That's the only time. So, I just asked, who is watching The Simpsons nowadays? Because I haven't met a single person that goes, I watch the new Simpsons. Really? Okay, cool. Well, so what's going on? What's happening? But I never know anybody that has that it still is. It's just one of those things that's been on for so long. It's kind of in a way hurt its legacy. Where you have a show that ends. How can I miss you if you don't go away? And as time went on, it's like, oh man, I remember that, and oh, I have fond memories. And then people go back and maybe they watch it from beginning to the end throughout a matter of months or so. You can never do that. You can never do that. Because there's been, I don't even know what season are they on? And I like a lot of The Simpsons. I do. 36 seasons. 36 seasons. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. 36. Do you imagine going back and try to rewatch 36 seasons of a show? I would love to know how long that would take. I wonder if there's a way to calculate how long it would take to watch the 36 seasons of that show. Like, how many months or years would that take? That's crazy. But it's just one of those where, like I said, I haven't watched an episode of that in at least 10, like, of a newer episode, 10, maybe even 20 years. I mean, it's been a long time, 10, 15 years. Which I think, wow, that's like 10, 15 years of shows I never watched. And hey, maybe there's stuff I would enjoy. I don't know. It's just I don't know why. It's just more mind-boggling to me, I'm sure, than any other people. So, yeah. But yeah, obviously he's being successful still in some way, in some fashion. But hey, kudos to it. But yeah, I did like the older stuff, and that's a whole other thing. But with that said, this episode was a lot of fun to rewatch. Thanks once again to Jack Thompson. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.